some really interesting books this week. I'm quite excited to share two science fiction works, the first of which is Dark Orbit by Carolyn Ives Gilman. And in this, our main character, Sarah, she comes back from being in the field and she comes back to her home world where she discovers that her former university mentor, he is now a powerful player in government, and he wants Sarah to go on a first contact mission to a distant, very odd solar system that they've detected has really high concentrations of dark matter. And there's also a secret mission attached to this, which is to watch over one of the team members who is a disgraced family member of the mentors. And so Sarah is sent out on this, and her and the contact team go out, and the civilization has never been this far. It's 58 light years away. So they go out to their targeted planet and discover that the planet is inhabited, which they did not know. There are people down there. These people are unable to see. They don't have the sense of sight because they developed in an environment that had zero light. And so there's really interesting discussions about our sense of sight and about contexts in which cultures develop, about disability, the relativity of disability, some really meaty topics in this. It's really an ideas book. And it's so intriguing and compelling that I actually read it in one day. The book seriously goes by so very quickly. It's full of all these ideas, but I do think it could have benefited from being just drawn out more. It could have reached greater depths to enrich it. I particularly think that this book only reached moderate depths with its characters and story. So really, this is a book about themes, and it's about big ideas that were really fun to read. And the other book that I want to share is Descender, which is such a great comic series that is very Battlestar Galactica-esque. Those vibes are amazing. I really love Battlestar Galactica, and I really like this series. The Descender series is about a little robot kid named Tim-21 and his companions. They're trying to stay alive in a universe where androids have been outlawed, and there are bounty hunters on every planet. It's really dangerous for Tim-21. And the past plays interesting parts in this book. It's got quite a role. There's Tim's former family, there's his creator, and also the past is important because Tim missed a good chunk of the past. He wakes up after having been dormant for 10 years, and during his 10 years sleep is when the robots were outlawed, and it was because every planet was attacked by giant robots, and no one knows why. It's big mystery to this day, and so there's a lot of fear and distress between robots and humans. So Tim kind of shows up out of nowhere. He's one of the last robots alive, and he's also pretty unique. There are governments and rebels and other extremist organizations who all want Tim. They're all hunting him down. There's lots of crews after him. And they want to know who he is, what he knows, and why he's important, particularly in the context of the mystery of the giant robot attacks. And Tim himself is so lovable. He is so sweet and kind, and I think he's so precious, particularly because of this really interesting trait where he is so overly trusting. In a very dangerous universe, an ounce of distrust would probably be kind of useful, but somehow he manages to keep that very trusting, kind attitude throughout, and so he's precious. I adore him. The art in this is also of note. It's watercolors, and watercolors are really hard to do in comics, and I don't normally like watercolors, but I think this is done so very well, so I really enjoyed it. And can we just take a minute to appreciate how cool comics are? They blend the visual and text into the story, and I love it. So this particular volume, this is volume 3 of Descender, which is what I just read. And in this, there's a lot more backstory than the previous volumes, and not just backstory of the main characters, but for a lot of characters who I didn't think would get a whole lot of page time, but they get their whole histories told out in many pages of this. And it's really interesting. The way that they're imbued with life is really epic and humane. As I said, this whole series is just an epic Battlestar Galactica space opera awesomeness, but it also has lots of heart, so I really loved it. And so those are the two books that I wanted to share this week. Till next time, my lovelies.